My child, come here. I ask you, I implore you, to step away. Step away from the frantic, relentless, deafening clamor of the world. It is a world that has become a monstrous engine of distraction, a cacophony of urgent notifications that are not truly urgent, of flashing screens that promise connection but deliver only isolation, and of the demanding, hollow voices of 1,000 lesser things all vying for a piece of your soul. For just a few precious moments, grant yourself the grace to let all of it recede. Willingly let the noise dissolve, not into an empty void, but into a profound and sacred quiet. I am personally inviting you into this quiet, not as a temporary escape from your life, but as a deep, resonant homecoming to your truest self. And here, in this hallowed stillness where the universe holds its breath, I want you to listen. Not with your ears, which have been trained by the world to catch only the fleeting, superficial sounds of survival and commerce, but with the eternal, listening core of your soul, that immaculate part of you that knows the ancient language of silence, the part of you that remembers the sound of my voice. For more years than there are grains of sand on all the shores of all the worlds, I have sat here, within the deep, abiding quiet of my inner sanctum. This is a place beyond the clumsy metrics of time and space, yet it is more real than the solid ground beneath your feet, more present than the air in your lungs. The very atmosphere here is thick, imbued with the scent of ancient wisdom, reminiscent of a vast celestial library filled with leather-bound books that hold the true stories of every soul across millennia. It smells of eternity itself, of primordial beginnings and glorious, unfolding endings. It carries the faint, sweet aroma of unwavering faith like countless beeswax candles burned down to their stubs in vigils of hope through the longest, darkest nights. This space is a repository, a sacred archive, a sanctuary not just for me, but for the infinite stories, the silent, unwept heartbreaks, the whispered, fragile hopes of every soul I have ever lovingly crafted into existence. Here, I have felt the crushing, suffocating weight of fears that steal the very breath and color from a life, and I have witnessed the soaring, incandescent, defiant height of hopes that negate the very gravity of circumstance. I have held the tearful confessions spoken in the desolate shame of midnight, and I have celebrated the roaring declarations of faith shouted in the magnificent triumph of dawn. And in all that time, through all those lives, I have held at my core one singular, unshakable, foundational truth. A truth so potent it can realign the very stars within a person's soul. A truth so powerful and alive it can make all things new. It is this living, breathing truth that I must now pour into the deepest well of your being, for your hour of profound transformation has come. This is not a dry academic truth to be learned, but a warm, living reality to be received and inhabited. And all of it, every single sacred drop of this cosmic ocean of grace, begins with the simple, world-altering, revolutionary fact of how I see you. When I look at you, my beloved child, my gaze is not like the fleeting, judging glance of the world. It penetrates far beyond the carefully constructed facade you have learned to present for your own survival. I see past the practiced smiles that bravely hide a deep and abiding weariness. I hear the silent sighs your soul releases in those unguarded moments when you believe you are utterly alone. My sight, which is the very light of creation, pierces through the heavy, burdensome armor you have so painstakingly assembled to protect your tender heart, and it beholds, with infinite tenderness, the real person dwelling underneath it all. I see directly into the very nucleus of your being, into the unassailable core of your spirit, and what I find there is a spirit of such raw, unfiltered honesty, a spirit so beautifully, heartbreakingly real, that it commands the reverent attention of all of heaven. I have watched your entire journey, not as a detached, celestial observer taking clinical notes from a distant gallery, but as a fully invested, profoundly committed participant in your story. My heart has soared with your every victory, no matter how small, and it has ached with a divine empathy for your every sorrow. I have witnessed your devotion, your persistent, often faltering, yet always returning devotion to the idea of something more, to the search for me. I have seen how you have intentionally, deliberately, carved out sacred time and space in the midst of your chaotic, demanding life to honor our bond. You have placed this relationship not as just another item on an endless to-do list, but as the foundational cornerstone upon which you are bravely, desperately trying to build a life of meaning. Please, I implore you, let this understanding sink past the sentinels of your intellect, past the walls of your skepticism, and into the very marrow of your bones. I am not a remote, impassive deity, an unmovable mover, a distant clockmaker cataloging your rights and wrongs on some cold cosmic ledger. I am present with you. I am present in you. I am the very life that animates you. I am intimately, profoundly, meticulously aware of every subtle flicker of emotion you experience, every unspoken question that haunts your quiet moments, every secret, cherished hope you nurture in the hidden garden of your heart. Those moments of sudden, breathtaking insight, those flashes of profound clarity that feel like a curtain being pulled back on reality, those instances where the veil between this world and the next seems to grow gossamer thin, and you feel the unmistakable brush of the divine against your spirit. Those were not random atmospheric disturbances or tricks of an ATA, overactive imagination. They were deliberate, personally crafted, and lovingly sent invitations from me to you. They were moments when I parted the veil, just for a second, to whisper a reminder into the ear of your soul. You are not forgotten. The greater reality is here, closer than your own breath. You are not alone, and you are a vital, irreplaceable part of a story much larger, more beautiful, and more significant than you can currently perceive. Have you ever truly paused to contemplate what it means to be seen? The world looks at you, and in a fraction of a second it performs a swift, brutal, and utterly superficial appraisal. It affixes labels to you as if you were a specimen in a jar. It looks at your external achievements, your job title, your bank account, your social media following, and it calls you successful or lucky. It looks at your inevitable failures and setbacks, and it calls you weak, undisciplined, or unfortunate. It looks at the clothes you wear, the car you drive, the neighborhood you live in, and from this flimsy, external data, it presumes to assign you a value, a place in its unforgiving hierarchy. But that is not seeing. That is merely measuring. That is judging. And it is an act of profound violence to the soul. My way of seeing is the polar opposite. It is a creative act of love. It is an act of deep and total recognition. I see you as a master artist sees the blank canvas. Others see only an empty, white space. But the artist, the one who holds the vision, already sees the finished masterpiece. The artist sees the bold strokes of courage, the subtle hues of compassion, the brilliant light of joy, and the deep shadows of wisdom that will all come together to form a breathtaking portrait. You are that portrait in progress, and even your darkest struggles are but the shadows that give your life depth, meaning, and beauty. I see you in the lonely, silent watches of the night, when you lie awake, when the armor is off, and you are wrestling with the ghosts of past regrets and the shadowy specters of future anxieties. I see you when you courageously pull your weary body and soul back to your feet after life has knocked you down for the 10th time, even when your knees are bleeding, your pride is wounded, and your heart is heavy with the bitter taste of dust and defeat. I see you when you perform a quiet act of generosity or kindness that no one else will ever see or applaud. When you choose to offer grace when your every human instinct screams for vengeance. When you stubbornly choose to plant a single seed of hope in the barren, cracked soil of a desperate situation. I see the epic, exhausting battles you have fought entirely within the confines of your own mind and heart, the silent screams of frustration that never pass your lips, the ocean of tears you have swallowed to appear strong for others, the beautiful, fragile, luminous dreams you dare not speak aloud for fear the cold air of cynicism might shatter them into a million pieces. And I say to you now, with all the love and authority of my being, I see it all. I miss none of it. I honor it all. And in my eyes, your messy, beautiful, imperfect, resilient, struggling, tenacious spirit is a thing of staggering, heroic beauty. I know you deeply, and because I know you, I can tell you with absolute certainty that you are profoundly, unchangeably, and eternally valuable to me. Your worth is not in question. It is a settled fact. Because of this intimate connection we share, because of your courageous choice to turn your face towards me even from the depths of your own perceived unworthiness, you have earned something far more profound than my mere attention or my conditional approval. You have been granted a gift of almost incomprehensible scale, a complete and total pardon. I need you to truly grasp the magnitude of this. Do not rush past these words. Imagine, if you will, a great celestial courtroom, a place of ultimate truth and justice. Imagine the book of your life is brought forth, and it is a heavy, cumbersome volume. It is presented as evidence, and every single page is filled, edge to edge, with a flawless record of every misstep, every stumble, every broken promise, every selfish act, every thoughtless word, every moment of cowardice and compromise you have ever committed. The evidence is overwhelming. The case is open and shut. Now imagine me as the supreme judge of all creation, the very author of law and righteousness, taking that heavy book. Imagine me looking not at the evidence, but directly into your eyes, and in my gaze you see not condemnation, but an ocean of infinite love and compassion. And then, I do not just tear out the incriminating pages. I take the entire book, the complete record of your past, and with a final declarative act, I cast it into a sea of divine forgetfulness, where it dissolves forever, leaving not a single trace. The case is not just dismissed on a technicality, the entire record is expunged. It is as if it never existed. This is not a temporary stay of sentence or a parole granted on good behavior. It is a permanent, irrevocable, eternal declaration of innocence, an acquittal bought and paid for with a great price. The debt you owed, a debt you could never repay, has been canceled in full. The past, with all its potent power to haunt you, to accuse you, and to condemn you, has been stripped of its authority. It has been rendered null, void, and powerless over your identity. Therefore today, this very moment, as you read these words, is a fresh start in the most absolute sense. It is a blank page in the book of your life, a page so pristine and white that it gleams with the light of pure, uncreated potential. It is a new beginning, waiting for a new, magnificent story to be written upon it, a story of grace, purpose, redemption, healing, and ultimate victory. This divine forgiveness, this pardon, operates on a level that human forgiveness can only dream of. Humans, in their best efforts, may say the words, "I forgive you," but so often a scar remains, a subtle, subconscious memory of the wound that forever alters the dynamic of the relationship. A slight distrust, a small wall, a memory that can be triggered. My forgiveness, however, is a regenerative, miraculous act. It is an act of spiritual recreation. It does not just cover over the sin with a fresh coat of paint. It heals the deep, cellular, level injury that the sin inflicted upon your soul's DNA. Consider again the field scorched black and lifeless by a devastating wildfire. The ground is hard, cracked, and seemingly sterile. My pardon is not just a promise that the fire will not return. It is the gentle, soaking, weeks-long rain that falls upon that barren ground, softening the hardened earth, washing away the bitterness of the ash. It is the loving hand of the divine farmer who comes to plow the soil, aerating it, making it receptive again. It is the act of sowing new, more vibrant, more resilient seeds of identity and purpose than were ever there before. And it is the warm, life-giving sun of my constant presence that coaxes forth new, verdant growth, causing a lush and abundant harvest to spring forth from the very ashes of what was destroyed, making the land of your soul more fertile and fruitful than it ever could have been before the fire. Now, let us speak directly and at length about shame, for it is the cruelest and most effective weapon of the adversary, the most cunning tyrant of the human soul. You must learn to distinguish it from its less powerful cousin, guilt. Guilt says, I did something bad. It can be a healthy, albeit painful, signal that you have violated your own values or my laws. Guilt, when responded to correctly, leads to repentance and change. Shame, however, is a far more insidious and destructive poison. Shame does not say, I did something bad. It whispers with soul-crushing certainty, I am bad. It attacks not your actions, but your very identity. It tells you that you are fundamentally flawed, that you are irreparably broken, that you are uniquely and disgustingly unworthy of love, connection, and belonging. It is the architect of isolation, the master builder of the prison of self-loathing. And I am here today, as the great emancipator of souls, to declare with a voice that shatters every chain, breaks every yoke, and demolishes every prison wall. That voice of shame is the primordial lie, the great adversary of your destiny. My great pardon is the specific and permanent antidote. It is a divine declaration that targets the very root of shame. It does not simply say, your past actions are forgiven. It thunders a more profound, identity-shaping truth. Your very being is good, your essence is precious in my sight, and you are unconditionally and eternally loved, not because of what you do or do not do, but because of who you are, mine. You have been granted a full pardon and a complete renewal. Therefore, I do not just invite you, I command you, with all the authority of a loving Father, to walk in this new freedom. Practice it, inhale its reality, feel it manifest physically in your body. Feel your shoulders relax and drop from the tense, hunched position you have held for so long. Feel your footsteps become lighter, as if a crushing, invisible backpack filled with the stones of your past has finally been unstrapped and discarded forever. Feel your vision become clearer, sharper, as if a dirty film has been wiped from the lens of your perception, allowing you to see the world and yourself in full, vibrant color for the first time. Feel your lungs fully expand with a deep, cleansing breath, no longer constricted by the tight, iron band of anxiety over what has been. You are like a prisoner of war who has spent years in a dark, damp, subterranean cell and has finally been liberated. You step out into the sunlight, and it is so brilliant, so warm, so dazzling that you have to shield your eyes. The air is so fresh and clean, it almost makes you dizzy with its sweetness. The world is so full of color and life and sound, it overwhelms your long-deprived senses. This is not a fleeting emotion. This is not a temporary high. This is not wishful thinking. This is your new, true, foundational reality. All your past is under my sovereign control, and I have not just forgiven it, I have redeemed it. You are formally and perpetually invited, with an invitation written in indelible ink, to walk continually in my presence. You are meant to live and move and have your very being within the impregnable sanctuary of my care. This is not a privilege to be earned. It is your birthright as my child, to be claimed. If you choose to remain resolute in this connection, consciously anchoring your soul to me each day, then I declare to you that no harmful force, no demonic influence, no ill-intentioned human design, no lingering shadow from a painful past can successfully lay a destructive claim on you. Think of my safeguarding care not as a static stone wall, but as a dynamic, shimmering sphere of living light that surrounds you. It is an active field of grace. It does not just repel negativity. It is a form of spiritual alchemy that transmutes it on contact. It takes the poisoned arrows of insult and gossip and causes them to dissolve into harmless dust before they can reach your heart. It takes the bitter poison of betrayal and neutralizes it, preventing it from infecting your spirit with resentment. It is a constant, active, all-encompassing protection that is powered by my infinite love for you. Therefore, your work is to learn not to be troubled. This is a skill, a spiritual discipline. You must practice not being agitated by the venomous words of those who misunderstand you, envy you, or simply dislike you. Their words are about them, not you. You must practice not being disturbed by the unnerving, echoing silence of an uncertain future, for that silence is where I often do my deepest work. You must practice not being intimidated by the pervasive, headline-grabbing darkness you observe in the world, or by the challenging, mountainous chapters of your own life story, for I am the Lord of light, and I am with you even, and especially in the valleys. You are invited to remain within my presence, and in that presence, fear cannot ultimately survive. Now, let us name your fears one by one, for fears that are named and faced are fears that are tamed and displaced. Let us drag them out of the murky shadows of your subconscious and into the brilliant, disinfecting light of this truth. First, let us confront the fear of failure. It is a paralyzing dread, a specter that whispers that you are not good enough, that you do not have what it takes, that you will attempt something great and fall flat on your face, leading to humiliation. To this insidious fear, I say, I am not grading your performance. I am guiding your personal and spiritual growth. In my divine economy, failure is not the opposite of success. It is an indispensable part of it. It is the raw data you need to learn and adapt. It is the abrasive pressure that forges the diamond of your resilience. It is the fire that tempers the steel of your character. I am the master artist, the master of kintsugi, who can take the broken shards of your failures and lovingly piece them together with veins of gold, making you more beautiful, more valuable, and stronger than you were before you were broken. It is impossible for you to disappoint me, because my love for you is not, and has never been, contingent on your achievements. Next, let us drag out the fear of judgment, of criticism, of what they, that faceless, ever-critical jury, will say. This fear is a cruel puppeteer. It turns you into a social chameleon, constantly and exhaustingly changing your colors and opinions to please an ever-shifting, impossible-to-please audience. To this fear I say, you have an audience of one. My applause, my well done, is the only one that truly matters for eternity. My view of you is steady, loving, and unchanging. I see your heart, your intentions, your efforts. So why do you tremble and lose your peace before the fleeting, ill-informed opinions of those who cannot see you as I see you? Let their words be like wind in the high branches, noticeable, perhaps, but unable to uproot the mighty tree of your identity which is anchored in me. Stand tall and immovable in my unshakable approval of you. Then there is the great, sprawling fear of the unknown, the fear of the future. Your magnificent mind, which I designed for creative problem solving, can be hijacked by anxiety and turned into a catastrophic what-if generator, creating immense and exhausting stress over things that have not happened and, in all likelihood, never will. To this sprawling fear I say, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I exist outside of time. I hold all of your tomorrows in the palm of my hand. You do not need a detailed turn-by-turn map for the entire journey of your life. Such a thing would crush you with its weight. You only need to trust me for the next indicated step. That is all. My guidance is what makes your way clear. I am your pillar of fire by night to guide you in the darkness, and your cloud by day to shield you from the harsh Sunday. Follow me one step at a time, and you will never be truly lost in the wilderness of the unknown. And what of that deep, gnawing fear of scarcity, that nagging background hum of belief that there will not be enough? Not enough money, not enough opportunity, not enough love, not enough strength, not enough time? To this foundational fear, I declare again, I am Jehovah Jireh, your ultimate provider. I own the cattle on 1,000 hills, the wealth in every mine. I am the inexhaustible source of all life, all love, all strength, all creativity. My resources are infinite. To live in a state of fear over scarcity while being the beloved child of the King of the universe is a profound contradiction. My provision does not come with hardship or unmanageable burdens. It flows from my grace. I will supply all that is necessary for you to live a life of meaning and plenty. The fortress of my protection is real. Let me give you a tour. Its mighty, unbreachable walls are my promises. Every single one is a hewn stone of absolute truth upon which you can build your life. Its deep, wide moat is my grace, which separates you from the attacking forces of the world. Its high watchtowers are the divine discernment I give you, allowing you to recognize danger and deception from afar. Its armory is filled to the ceiling with my words, which are not passive sayings, but are your offensive and defensive weapons for any spiritual fight. And this fortress is perpetually manned by my host of guardians, dispatched to accompany your steps, to keep you steady, and to fight for you in battles you will never even know are being waged. Life is indeed a turbulent and unpredictable sea, but you have a divine captain. When the thick fogs of confusion and doubt roll in and you cannot see your hand in front of your face, my timeless truth is your infallible compass. When the violent storms of conflict and crisis rage, and the mountainous waves of adversity threaten to swamp your small boat, my constant presence is your unbreakable anchor, holding you fast and secure until the storm passes. When you are lost in the starless, dark night of the soul, my promises are the distant but ever-shining, unwavering lighthouse on the shore, guiding you safely back to the harbor of my peace. Finally, you must always remember that the most important battle you will ever fight is the one for the territory of your mind. You must become a vigilant, even ruthless, gatekeeper of your thoughts. This is why I instruct you to be careful with your words and to avoid letting negativity take root in your thoughts. Do not allow anger or hurt to fester overnight, for they are toxic seeds. Keep a mindful watch over what you see and speak. This is not a call to some sterile, joyless puritanism. It is a call to strategic, spiritual warfare. You are defending the inner citadel of your peace, and its defense is a non-negotiable term of your new life in me. You will remain unshaken, for I will be there to save you. I have personally, intentionally, and strategically equipped you for the journey that lies ahead. I am your divine quartermaster, the the one who clears the path of insurmountable obstacles and provides you with the supernatural strength to navigate the challenges that must remain for your own growth. Therefore, your achievements, your true, lasting achievements, will not be the product of your own strained, white-knuckled effort or your own limited, depletable strength. They will be the natural, organic, inevitable fruit of a life that is built upon the unshakable bedrock of your daily trust in me and the quiet, persistent, day-by-day resilience of your dedication to our partnership. But for this to happen, we must be in absolute agreement about the nature of the success we are building together. The world, in its brokenness, has sold you a cheap, hollow, and ultimately soul-destroying definition of success. It is a fragile house of cards built on the flimsy foundations of material accumulation, fleeting social status, and the fickle praise of others. People exhaust their one precious, unrepeatable life chasing these phantoms, climbing ladders that are leaned against the wrong wall, only to find that the desperate pursuit is empty and the prize, if attained, is profoundly unsatisfying. That is not success. That is a tragic deception. The success I have designed for you, the success I have selected you for, is a fortress of the soul. It is a deep, abiding inner peace that remains steadfast even when the world around you is descending into chaos. It is the immense richness of authentic, loving, forgiving relationships. It is the profound and lasting satisfaction of knowing that you are using your unique gifts to make a positive, tangible difference in the lives of others. It is building a legacy of kindness, integrity, courage, and love that will ripple outwards and bless others long after your time on this earth is over. It is the simple, sacred rhythm of waking each morning with a surge of divine purpose and lying down each night with a soul overflowing with gratitude. This is true success. It is an internal state of being, a kingdom within, and it is a treasure that no economic downturn, no betrayal, no illness, no misfortune can ever take from you. I want you now to use your sanctified imagination. Imagine, in vivid detail, that you are a beloved, chosen apprentice in my private, cosmic workshop. I am the master craftsman. This is not a cold, impersonal, noisy factory floor. It is a sacred space of joyful, collaborative co-creation. The air smells of cedar and starlight. I do not just hand you a complicated blueprint and a pile of raw materials and walk away, expecting you to figure it out on your own. That is not my way. We work together, side by side, day by day. First, I provide the materials, and I assure you, they are the finest and most unique in all of creation. The specific, curated combination of talents, natural gifts, deep passions, and even the personality quirks that I have meticulously and lovingly woven into the very fiber of your being. Nothing about your design is an accident or a mistake. Then together we unroll the master blueprint, the specific, glorious, one-of-a-kind purpose that only you, with your unique design, can fulfill in this particular time and place in history. Then, our shared work begins. There are long, focused seasons where I guide your hand, teaching you how to use the tools of faith, patience, and wisdom to make precise, courageous cuts in the wood of your circumstances. There are other seasons where I step back, my hand hovering close by, allowing you to practice on your own, to make your own mistakes, to learn the feel and the grain of the materials for yourself. When you inevitably make a wrong cut or splinter a piece of the wood, we do not throw it away in disgust. Never. I show you, with infinite patience, how to repair it, how to sand it, how to fill it, how to turn the flaw into a unique and beautiful feature, a mark of character that makes the final piece even more interesting and valuable. There are long, patient, often tedious and unglamorous periods of sanding and polishing, of refining your character, smoothing the rough edges, until your soul gleams with a deep inner luster. And through it all, I am right there with you, my voice a constant, reassuring source of encouragement and instruction, my eyes filled with fatherly pride and delight as I watch the masterpiece which is, you slowly but surely take shape. You are not, and never have been, a mass-produced commodity. You are a one-of-a-kind, handcrafted original. My vision for you exceeds all your dreams and plans. Because you are this unique creation, you must, as an act of will, abandon the poisonous, soul-deadening habit of comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy and the cold-blooded murderer of divine purpose. It is a game you can never win. You cannot compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. You cannot compare your backstage struggles to their highlight reel. You cannot compare your unique, God-given blueprint to theirs. A flute that spends its life wishing it were a trumpet, trying to make loud, brassy sounds, will not only fail miserably to be a trumpet, but it will also deprive the world of the beautiful, ethereal, soaring melody that only a flute can make. The grand symphony of my creation requires your unique note, your specific timbre, your one-of-a-kind melody. I need you to play your part fully, joyfully, and without apology. I will certainly amplify the talents you possess in a profound manner. I am unlocking channels of abundance for you, but you must understand how the hydraulics of my kingdom work. The abundance I give is not meant to be a stagnant pond for you to hoard, protect, and grow anxious over. It is designed to be a flowing, life-giving river. It is meant to flow to you, and then through you. You are blessed in order to be a blessing. The more you generously and joyfully allow this river of love, kindness, wisdom, and resource to flow through you, to nourish the dry and thirsty world around you, the wider and deeper I will carve your own channel to receive even more from my infinite source. This is the divine law of supernatural reciprocity. It is in giving that you truly receive. This is why I encourage you to choose wisely, choose the path of open-handed generosity. And now, my child, as we draw this quiet time together to a close, let these truths settle upon you like a warm, heavy blanket on a cold night. Let them sink from your head into your heart, from theory into reality. In summary, remember these core, unbreakable promises. You are seen, you are known, you are pardoned, you are free, you are protected, you are guided, you are never, ever alone. You are uniquely designed, you are divinely purposed. You are deeply and eternally loved. This is the bedrock reality upon which you are to build the rest of your life. I want you now to take a deep, conscious breath. Inhale my peace, my strength, my love. Exhale your fear, your striving, your exhaustion. Do it again. This breath is your anchor to the present moment, which is the only place you can ever find me. As you step out from this moment of sacred quiet and back into the often noisy flow of your life, I am not sending you out alone or empty-handed. I am giving you a great commission. I charge you to carry this peace, this assurance, this quiet confidence with you as a gift to the world. Let your very presence be a benediction to others. Let your life become a tangible demonstration of my goodness. When others are frantic, you will be calm. When others are hateful, you will be kind. When others despair, you will be a beacon of hope. Do not be overwhelmed by this charge. You do not do it in your own power. My spirit within you is the one who will produce this fruit. Your part is simply to stay connected to me, the vine. Your part is to trust the process. Your part is to remember who you are and whose you are. So now, stand up, my child. Stand tall in the full, magnificent stature of the person I have created and redeemed you to be. Take a deep, cleansing breath of the pure air of your spiritual freedom and your divine purpose, and go forth from this place into the world, not with an ounce of religious arrogance, but with the quiet, unshakable, humble confidence of one who knows, beyond all shadow of a doubt, that they are profoundly loved, divinely guided, powerfully equipped, and eternally secure in the arms of their Father. Let your life become a work of art that makes people wonder about the artist. Let your light shine, not so that others will be impressed with how great and enlightened you are, but so that they will see your good works, your inexplicable peace, your resilient joy, your radical integrity, and they will catch a glimpse of me through you, and they, too, will become thirsty for the living water that I offer freely. The journey ahead will not be without its challenges. There will be steep hills to climb and shadowed valleys to cross. This I do not deny. But I do promise that you will never, not for one fraction of 1 second, walk alone. And I promise you this, with the full authority of my being. When you reach the end of your days on this earth, and you look back over the landscape of your one precious life, you will see with the perfect clarity of hindsight that every single piece of your story, the glorious triumphs and the heartbreaking tragedies, the seasons of ecstatic joy and the seasons of deep sorrow, even the broken, jagged shards of your greatest mistakes and most painful regrets, all of it has been masterfully, patiently, and lovingly woven together by my sovereign hands to create a breathtaking, magnificent, and eternally significant mosaic. Your life will have been a testament to my redeeming grace, a story of hope that will be told and retold in the halls of heaven to encourage weary souls for generations to come. This is my covenant with you. This is your unbreakable truth. Go now and live in it. Amen.